My name is Sarah. Welcome to the It's a Sarah podcast. Today it is Friday, September 22, and this is episode 106. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk, so that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I love talking about my knitting and crochet so much that I make episodes twice a week, and I make them a little fly. I make them in Dutch and in English, so be sure you pick the right one. That fly was disturbing my intro. Very annoying, but we will go on. I'm sorry. I have quite some handwerk perikelen, that's Dutch for crafty adventures, to share with you. And let's start with what I'm wearing, because I am wearing my Tolsta Tee. And the Tolsta Tee is a well-known pattern, I guess. It's pretty popular, if I am right. And it's the one of the latest designs. No, not the latest. It's one of the designs from Rebecca from the Crea Bea podcast. And she released it in the early spring, the late spring, I guess. Late spring, early summer. I did a test knit for her, and this is my example. I didn't wear it a lot, to be honest. I didn't wear it, actually. I didn't wear it for months, and I was wondering why, because I really like the look of it. But there are a few little things which made me not wearing it. And one of the things is the yarn. I knit this, it's a top-down raglan little summer tee, knitted on a pretty loose gauge. And it's meant, the pattern is for a DK weight, and I held the fingering weight double. It's a sock yarn, a non-nylon sock, a natural sock yarn. I'm struggling with the words today, I'm sorry. Take a deep breath. My head's going faster than my mouth, and that's quite often happening, also in Dutch, but in English it's even harder. Okay, take it easy. I held my sock yarn double. It's a natural sock yarn, hand dyed by a Dutch dyer, Atelier Lindelicht, in the lovely color Red Tiger Eye, and it's a mix of wool, silk, and nettle. Do you say it? Nettle in it's a plant. I think nettle is correct. I'm not sure, but it's really a lovely, nice yarn. I held it double. The woolly part of the yarn is not really good for me in summer. I am a very hot-tempered lady, so when it's hot, I'm hot. When it's not hot, I'm also hot. So now warm. Warm is the better word. I'm very hot. That's not what I want to say. But I get warm quite soon, so I don't want to dress up too warm because I am warm enough by myself. So even though the summer was quite cool every now and then, I didn't wear it because it was too warm. And now we are slowly getting into autumn. Yesterday was really, really a good autumn day. It was the officially first autumn day, and it was raining and it was cold, and I loved it. Today it's pretty good weather. It's dry and a little bit of sun and quite some clouds. Really a typical Dutch sky, I guess. And the temperature is quite low, 16, 17 degrees. I also love those kind of autumn days. But I saw in the weather forecast that next week temperatures will rise, and no, not again, not very high, but still. But today's a pretty good day to wear this. I can have this perfect today. So I was very happy to pick it out of my wardrobe again. The other thing is, I don't know if you can see this. This hobbly bobbly part, those are my buttons from my dress. I'm wearing a Hinterland dress. More about that later in this episode. Because this tee is knitted on quite a loose gauge, it's meant to be. It's a very flowy and drapey fabric, but it's not hiding my buttons enough, and I don't like that. I'm a very loose knitter, so I'm quite sensitive for messy knitting, and For me, it's really satisfying when your knitted fabric is quite tight and nice straight stitches, nice in a line, not those dancing stitches which are familiar for me, which I am creating. So this loose fabric, I even went down one needle size. I think I didn't check, but I think this is meant to be knit on needle size 5 millimeters and 6 millimeters. And I knit it on 4 and 5 millimeter needles. I'm not sure if I'm correct, but still the fabric is quite drapey. And also the ribbing, yeah, here are my dancing stitches. And I really love that my stitches are having fun. I prefer the dancing stitches, the idea of dancing stitches more than the straight stitches, but I don't prefer the look, I guess. I don't know. So it's reminding me too much of my own messy knitting. I don't know. I love the color and I love to wear it now. So maybe it's more an autumn and spring knit for me. And I really also love to wear it with black long sleeves under it. So we shall see. And I really love my embroidery, my woolly tattoo. It was my plan to do a woolly tattoo. I also think I made a little mistake there, so that's perfect. Woolly tattoos are perfect to hide your mistakes. And I really love it, so I'm proud of this. I know there is a new Lene book, I guess. It's Line, I guess. Line, not Lene. Line, I don't know, on the Finnish way, not on the French way. I think it's already out, but there's a lovely knitter from Germany, I'm quite sure. I don't remember her name. I follow her on Instagram with those beautiful embroidery on knitwear. And she, together with Line, she made a book. And I think it's lovely. And there are a lot of people attending me. There's a book, you should have it. I don't think it's on my wish list. I absolutely think it's beautiful. But for me, the embroidery part, I don't need more inspiration or instruction for that right now. Because I have enough inspiration and things I could embroider on my knits, more than I have knits which I could embroider on. So, and also the woolly tattoo thing, for me it's a bit of a playful thing, and I don't want to follow patterns and ideas. I just want to be creative with it. So that's the reason I don't think I need that book in my life, but I haven't seen it yet. Maybe when I see it, I'm not a person who owns books just for owning. So you can turn the pages and enjoy all the lovely crafts. I am not such a person. I buy only books when I want to work from, or when I want to knit from them, I guess. But I must say, I received from a yarn shop in the Netherlands the Line Socks book, Socks magazine, I don't know the official title, last spring. And I didn't own one, but she gifted it to me. And I must say, every now and then I am a page turner, and I am enjoying that. So maybe it will change, but I don't want to buy anything new. So, but if you are inspired by woolly tattoos, or if you like it, check that book, because I think it's lovely. Okay, enough about what I'm wearing. Let's go to my first and only finished object, because I finished a pair of socks, and that was quite a while ago. I used to knit socks quite often, but I have enough socks actually. I still think sock knitting is really relaxing, satisfying knit. And for me, it's quite often on the go work. I love to have a knitted sock in my bag, so it's always with me when I have some unexpected knitting time, I have always something to knit without bringing a whole big bunch of knitting and yarn, just a tiny small project bag, and that's always perfect. These are my ribbed socks. I did use a pattern. I was inspired by a pattern when I was, maybe if you watch my episodes for quite a while, you have seen my episodes from my caravan. We call it a caravan in Dutch. Our little mobile home in the early summer. I think it was the beginning of June. I was in our caravan all by myself with our dog. And I spent a few days alone, and that's quite special when you're having a family. I have a husband and 3 kids. I don't go away alone quite often, and it was very special to do that. It was really lovely, and I also filmed an episode in the caravan. I really enjoyed it. So next year I will definitely do it again. But I casted on 2 socks. I received a sock pattern from a Dutch designer. The pattern is in English, so you can check it on Ravelry. I will put a link down below. Those were the It'll Be Okay socks, and it was a lovely sock with a little lace pattern on the front panel and rib on the back panel. And I was doubting between 2 yarns. I had this yarn. I had a skein left of this lovely yarn. More of a solid color, a hand-dyed solid color, but still solid. And also this variegated yarn with a lot of brown. And I didn't really know which color would be best. So I thought, okay, let's try both. So I knitted the cuffs from both socks and then a little bit of the pattern. And then I decided I prefer it in this yarn. So I ripped out the little pattern, and I really loved the knit to purl to with this yarn. So I decided just knit the sock with knit to purl to instead of the lace front panel. So I did, and it was really an on-the-go work in my backpack, and I worked on it every now and then. And now they are finished. I started them on June 1st, and I really loved it. I really am a toe-up knitter. When I started knitting socks, I was a cuff-down knitter. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't understand the construction of a socks, and I thought it would be so hard, and I just picked a pattern, a free pattern on Ravelry, I guess. I don't know the name, I don't remember. And it was a sock, a top-down sock with heel flap and gusset, and I did it. And I had no idea what I was doing, but at the end I had a sock. And when I knit the second sock, I began to realize how it works. I began to see the puzzle, and then I knitted so many socks, and I really loved it. And then I learned to knit socks from toe, starting with the toe up. And I really prefer that, mainly because I always use the Turkish cast on for my toe, and I prefer the Turkish cast on and bind off for the leg stitches more than cast on the stitches for the leg and Kitchener your toe. You close your toe with the Kitchener stitch. So that's the only reason. But for these socks, this pattern is also with a heel flap and gusset, and the knit to purl to is going all over the heel flap. And I really love the look of that. I really am a knit to purl to lover. It's my truly deeply love. One of my truly deeply loves. And I really love the look of that. And I thought when I make a toe up sock of this and I do the shadow wrap short row heel, which I really like, I don't have the look of this. So just follow the pattern. And it was actually quite fun to knit again with. I really felt how my knitting muscles did grow all those years, because when I knitted the heel flap and gusset a few years ago, I didn't understand, and now it was quite easy. So that was nice, a nice experience. But I knitted them this way, and yeah, I really loved it. Let me check my notes. I will make a picture of my notes in my knitting book, and I will share that on my Ravelry page. The yarn I use, let's start with that. This is my leftover. It's a superwash yarn from Rico Design. I bought it when we were on holiday, I think last summer. I'm not sure. And it is Circus Super Ba. It's a bit crinkly, the label. And it's color number 5. I never heard of this brand before, but I just love the colors, the browns and the beige, and yeah, I really loved it, and I really love it when in these socks with this stitch. I casted on 56 stitches with the German twisted cast on. I did 80 rounds for the leg, no border, no other ribbing for the border, just all the same, 80 rounds. Then I did the heel flap and gusset as described in the pattern. It's a paid pattern, so if you, I can really recommend the pattern. It's written by a Dutch lady, but I think it is in English, so you can follow it. And I don't have my socks here, not close enough to grab them, but it's really a lovely, satisfying pattern. And also, I love the name of it. It'll be okay. I gifted the pattern to a friend which needs a little bit of love. Who need a little bit of love. And just finding a pattern in your email, in your Ravelry inbox with the name It'll Be Okay. It's just a little bit of healing. It's just a little bit of love. So I really love that. And also the knitting is really, it'll be okay. Yeah, it's really nice and warm. For the foot, I knitted 60 rounds, knit 2 purl tulle at the front and just at the bottom plain stockinette. And then I did 10 rows, all knit stitches for the toe. I really loved my toe to be quite deep. I don't love it when the pattern is going too far to the toe, just for the look, not for the wearability. Wearability, is that a word? But for the look. And then I did my decreases. I made a wrong note. My decreases I always do knit 1, slip, slip, knit, and I'll knit all the stitches until 3 are left, and knit 2 together and knit 1. That's the way I decrease for my toe or for my afterthought heel. But I change it. You get this nice line when you do it that way. But I turned my knit together and slip, slip, knit around. So I was making this shape, but my decreases were standing there, so that was not, and I don't know, I wasn't paying attention, I just made a mistake, so I had to rip out and knit it again, and now it is all nice. I did block my socks, only because of the look, that's why I do it. I have some pretty good sock blockers. I don't know if I shared that before. I bought them by Saskia from Ja-Wol. Saskia is a lovely knitter. She had a wonderful shop in Rotterdam, but she closed her shop a few years ago, and she did have an online shop, but she also is not active there, I guess, and she decided to quit with Instagram, using Instagram. So I lost her. I lost my contact with her. I think she was building her own community, and I think you can find her with a podcast on YouTube. But anyway, these sock blockers, Saskia was really, she found sustainability very important. So she was really working together with Dutch makers, I guess, maybe, no, mainly Dutch, I guess, with Dutch makers, and she had found a lady, her name is Brechtje, and she has her own company now named Studio Spintol, which makes sock blockers by hand and with really good materials and really love. And they also had quite a big price, because that's when something's really sustainable and made in good circumstances, the price is also quite high. And I must say, they were really good. They were really high priced, and not for the. I can understand the high price. Absolutely, I think they are absolutely worth it. But for me, it was a lot of money to spend on sock blockers, something you actually don't really need. So I had to take a deep breath before I bought them. I have them for years right now. I had some cheap ones, cheap wooden ones, and when I put a wet sock on it, they lost their shape, and it was a mess. It was a disaster. And these ones stay very good. And Saskia also told, these ones are for life, and I really love that idea. Buy something good, spend your money good and you have it for the rest of your life, and you the good materials. So I really love them. I will link the Dutch maker down below. I don't think I can link Saskia, but a lot of credits for her also, because I really love these Sokblockers. Okay, then when I finished my socks, I remembered my scrappy blanket. I do have a memory blanket, so I have two actually, and they are living in this bag. This is made by a Dutch maker, Okari Concepts. Her name is Claudia. She gifted me this bag a few years ago. No, last year, I guess last year. And in this bag are living two scrappy blankets, two knitted scrappy blankets. So I will grab the first one. This is my Northeasterly, and it hasn't seen daylight for quite a while. I will show it because it's really a hard jumping blanket. Let me stand up. This is my Northeasterly blanket. I'm knitting the stripes in the white, so it has the size of a one person's bed. You can also hold it this way. You can make it as wide or as long as you want it to be, but I choose to hold it this way. And this is my memory blanket. Every time I finish a pair of socks or something else for which I used fingering weight yarn, I knit a few rows in this blanket. And this is really making me happy, because all the socks, all the stories, all the moments are catched in this blanket. And that's really satisfying. So this blanket is growing quite slowly, especially because I'm not knitting a lot of socks or other fingering weight projects right now. But that doesn't matter. There's no hurry finishing this one. It is actually quite satisfying to enjoy something which is growing so slowly. So that's really nice. And I really love the idea of myself as an old granny sitting with no teeth. I don't know, I do want to have teeth, but with no teeth, sitting under my memory blankets when I'm 100 years old, and I'm just sitting and enjoying everybody around me. I've no idea. It's very romantic dream, I know. And in the meanwhile, I have all the memories of all the things I made and all the stories, all the lovely people for who I made things, and I would never be bored. I hope I can still knit by then. That's my dream. We will see how far it will come. So no hurry with this one, just a lot of love. And I think I will make a picture of it today, because I really love it to have in my Instagram feed and in my photo library for myself. It's really lovely. So this one, but also in this bag is another project bag, and in this project bag is living my Coziest Memorie blanket. And this is actually not really a memory blanket for me. This is just, all the needles. I'm knitting those on DPNs all. So this is actually not a memory blanket for me, just a scrappy sock yarn blanket. And I remember last summer I worked on this. I made a square every day on the holiday, but I didn't touch it for quite a while. I don't know what this stitch marker marks. I have no idea. And just it has the size of a lovely baby blanket. Of course, you can add some squares or rows in the white, in the high, and whatever. It can be so big as you want. You don't have to decide it when you start. But I have no idea. But I was when I was filming my Dutch episode, I was dreaming of maybe when my children will get children. I don't know if that will happen. But when I will become a granny, how lovely it would be when their babies will sleep under this blanket. So I have still some time. It's really lovely. My children also, we had a knitted wrap from my grandmother, which I was as a baby, and also my children. And I don't think it was good yarn. It was quite a lot of acrylic, and I don't know if it's still alive with my cousins. But it is lovely to have such a family thing. So yeah, I really love that idea. So it was nice to see them again. I haven't seen them for quite a while. They are just in my closet, hibernating. That's how you say it, I guess, huh? But I don't have stress. I don't have the pressure. I don't feel the pressure for by finishing them, because they are just process knits, which I'm enjoying a lot. And I don't like it when works in progress are on my needles for a long time, and when there's no progress in them. But that's not the way with these works. Those are absolutely okay, even if they are not growing. So yeah, that's also lovely. It's also a nice experience. No pressure. Okay, then a little update from my Ariana sweater. I had such a hard jumping moment this morning because let me start with the neckline. When I filmed my episode last Monday, in which I told very detailed about my journey with the neckline, there were so many comments over the central decrease stitch, and I felt very stupid. No, that's not nice to say about yourself. I felt very clumsy because I know that stitch. I used it in my mystery knit along. I also used it in a sweater I knit, but I forgot it. I didn't think about that stitch. But that stitch was the solution for my problem. But I already solved my problem before my episode was online. I did sew a little thread, and I pulled the stitches together, and I marked it a little bit. So I thought, okay, I'm okay now. I don't have to do a thing. But after reading so many comments about the central decrease stitch, I thought, okay, there might be quite a big chance that I will rip out the border from the neckline, and I will do it again with that stitch. But we will see. I only am allowed to do it when the sweater is completely finished. And we are getting there, because last days I worked on the bottom hem, on the bottom rib. It's looking a bit weird right now because it's a 2x2 knitted rib, and it's really pulling together. But when I wear it, it has really a nice effect. I was a little bit afraid, isn't it too small? But it isn't. It is tighter than the rest, but it gives a really nice effect, a little bit of blousing. I don't know if that's a word in English, but it's really nice. And yeah, it was really hard jumping. I knitted 10, 20, 30, 40 rounds of ribbing, knit 2, purl 2, and that was really nice and satisfying to do. Then I bound off with a crochet hook, number 6, and that's just enough stretch. It's not, there is a limit, and I feel the limit when I put on my sweater, not when it's on, but when I have to put it over my shoulders and head and ever. But it isn't flaring out because it's too loose. So what I will do now is I will crochet 1 round and pick up the stitches for the last ribbing at the sleeve. And then I will decide which sleeve length I like, because this is a short sleeve and this is a long sleeve. And I'm pretty sure that I will prefer this one. Then I will rip out this one. I know there are different ways, and maybe that I can Kitchener it, but I don't mind knitting a border, knit 2, purl 2. It's very satisfying and relaxing thing to do, more than, yeah, it's just maybe like meditating is for, or yoga is for some people. I don't do those things. I would love to, but it never worked out for me. I just do knit 2, purl 2. And then that has the same effect on me. I think it gives me peace. Yeah. So I will do that, and then I will weave in my ends, and then I will decide if I will reknit the neckline border. I already know the answer, but we are just pretending as if we are still thinking about what to do. But I know I will gonna do it, and then I can wear it, and it is getting a bit looser. I put it on and off several times to fit and to check the length and whatever. And it's a little bit stretching out. I was hoping for that because it's a little bit, no, not a little bit. It's quite too tight, more tight than I thought it would be, especially under the arms. But I have good hope that when I block it and when I wear it, that it will stretch out a bit. And I really loved it so much that I am already thinking over another one. Because I also have, this is the Mondim, Rosa Pomar Mondim, and I also have it in brown. So I am thinking about a brown scrappy one, and I thought maybe when I just crochet the last round of the squares with one needle size bigger, it will just be a tiny little bit more wider than it is now, because I love the fit, but it's just when I crochet an extra round, it would be too much. When I do everything with a bigger needle with a bit of crochet hook, it would also be too much. But maybe when I do the last round, and then it will be okay. So my wish list is very long, but I could see me making another one. Yeah, because just look at this. It's perfect on my dresses. Oh, I really love it. So, yeah. The end is near. Also, the end is near on this one. This is my sock cardigan, and it's looking a bit like a mess. I didn't really stick it yet. I promised to film my sticking process last Monday, and it was my plan to do it one of these days. But the filming part was holding me back. It was I was doing the laundry at our bedroom. It was filled with all the laundry dry things, the things you can put your laundry on. I don't know the name for it. In Dutch we call it wasrek. I have a brown and orange one and a white one, and the room was filled. It was raining outside. We don't have a drying machine. And we don't need that, but every now and then we are with 5 people, there is more laundry, then I can put on the lines there. So I have to take the space in my knitting office. And those were all knits because I did some wool wash. But the filming part was holding me back, and I didn't feel motivated to do because of the filming. It become I must do that, and I'm a little bit of sensitive, or maybe I could better say I'm allergic for the word must. You must, and no one asked me. It was my own idea, but I thought, oh no, it's not. I don't have to do it. I just want to stick and knit. So I didn't do the filming. I'm sorry, and it was just for. I don't want to make a tutorial or whatever. There are so many good things on YouTube. There's no way I could add something. It was just for the, how do you call it? For the sphere. I don't know, is the sphere, is that the English word too? For the coziness, let's say it like that. So I put all my yarn ends to the front so they won't stuck under the machine. And then I zigzagged twice on this side and I zigzag twice on that side, and now I'm making a stick sandwich. That's not what the pattern tells you to do. The pattern tells you to use a little ribbon. Let me show you. I found a ribbon in the thrift store this summer, and I really love red is not especially my color, but I really love the flowery motif. But it was so not matching with my cardigan colors. I thought, no, this is not gonna happen. So I searched on the internet for oh, I forgot those. I have to put them back. I searched on the internet for nice ribbons with, I love the flowers and other colors, and I found some, but they were hard jumping, but not in combination with my cardigan. And I really didn't know, and I looked in the store in my town, also couldn't really find it, and I thought, yeah, what should I do? And when I'm sticking, all my nice cardigans are still stored. I couldn't grab them soon, but this is my first colorwork project, and it's a superwash merino. It's really messy, and I wear it so much, but it's also hard jumping because this is my first colorwork project. This was a dragon. This was quite a dragon. But I want to show you my stick sandwich, because the lady who learned me sticking used the method with the stick sandwich. So after you reinforcement for the stick, you pick up stitches and you knit some rows of stockinette. So knit on the right side and purl on the wrong side. And then when you have enough length, you do 2 knit rows. So you get those purl bumps at the right side, and then you knit the same amount of rows stockinette as you did here, and then you bind off with an I-cord bind off, and then you fold the stick sandwich inside, and you sew it like that, and in this stick sandwich your messy stick is hide. You hide your messy stick in it, and then you can pick up quite easily the stitches for the button band in the purl bumps. And this is the way I always sticked, and I really love it. I love to wear my cardigans open, so I really love this nice edge. I don't really love the thick part here. So I know there are other ways, but I never explored them really good. And now I thought, okay, I want to do it different, but I didn't search. I just want to do it my own. I'm just playing. I think I told it before, I want to get it from myself and not only from tutorials. There's nothing wrong with getting things from tutorials and from other people, with learning from other people, but I have a need to intrinsic information, intrinsiek zeggen we in Dutch. Do we say in Dutch? I'm hustling Dutch and English. I don't know. I want to find it in myself. So what I did was I picked up the stitches without cutting yet, because it's a superwash yarn and I want to be sure they will all stay in a line. And then I immediately knitted 2 rows, so the purl bumps are right against the fabric. And I want, this one is ready. I knitted some I knitted some rows. And then I did an I-cord bind off, and I will fold it inside when it's cut. And this fabric will hide the stick, and I will sew it. And then you don't have the part here, and I can pick up the stitches for the oh, you can't see it, I'm sorry. You don't have the column here, only on the inside, and you can pick up the stitches in the purl bumps, and here the button band will be. There will be a line, I guess, but I don't think I worry about that. So I don't know, we shall see. So I'm knitting the second one, and when I finish that I will cut the stick, and then I will fold them inside, and I will check how it works, and then I hope it will work, and I will pick up the button bands. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. I'm very much looking forward to finishing it, because I think I will wear it with a lot of fun, and it will be hard jumping, I'm quite sure. So that for the knitting. Then I also had a sewing, I made some sewing progress. Let me pick it. This dress was gifted to me by a lovely Dutch shop owner, little shop around the corner. It's a simply grey dress. I showed it a few episodes ago. It was gifted to me, but it was I was allowed to pick the color myself and all, and I was really doubting, because I'm actually more of the dark brown, the chocolate brown and the black, but I already own chocolate brown and black dresses, so I thought, let's go for another color. And this color was high on my list for a dress. It is the chestnut color, but it's very autumnal. it's an autumn color, and the dress was a little bit too long because I'm quite a short person, so it was looking a bit weird on me, and I knew that, so I knew that I would have to shorten it, but I was a bit afraid. I like to tell myself that I'm not a good sewer, and it's not very helpful when you have the wish, the desire to sew your own dresses. When you have that desire, stop telling yourself that you can't do it, because it's not helping. I can assure you. But I did shorten the dress successfully, not perfect, but successfully. And when it was finished, I immediately put it on, and I was completely in love. It's just such a nice dress. It's just. My children always say that's my knitting lady uniform, and such a dress, a linen dress or skirt together with some knitwear or crochet wear, and I really love that uniform. I really feel myself in those kind of clothes, so that's very nice. So I was really happy that I made it. And I really am looking forward to a new sewing adventure. Maybe I told a little bit about it before. I'm wearing a Hinterland dress. I think that's a well-known pattern among knitters. The Hinterland dress is a pattern by Liberated, an English pattern. I think they are American. I'm not quite sure. I really want to make myself such a dress. Last summer, not this summer, but the year before, but I completely failed, and I have a lovely knitting friend living around the corner, and she's a very good sewer. So she finished my dress, and she also made this one, and I was so happy. I never owned dresses. I have a lot of nice dresses, but I never owned dresses in which I felt so good. So they were perfect. And she also made me a skirt, and from a leftover, and the only thing I could think was, I want to do it myself, because I don't want to ask her every time, and I don't need a lot of dresses. I think it's nice to have a few, less is more, but I really want to make myself such things. And she every time I mentioned her, she received a lot of questions about the Hinterlanders. I don't like questions. I'm honest. That sounds as if I'm not a nice person. I am a nice person, I think. But I don't love answering questions. I really love talking about my things, and I really love to inspire other people. But when I receive questions in my DM on Instagram or whatever, it takes me so much time, and I'm not there. It's not energizing me to answering questions. Maybe it's because I'm a bit sensitive on the teacher part in my life. I was a teacher on primary school, and later a crafting teacher on the Waldorf school. And when you are a teacher, people, children, but also colleagues, they are asking you a lot of questions all the time. And I think that pressure from answering questions, it damaged my love for questions, I guess. I guess that's... And it's okay. I always say, don't ask me anything. I never answer questions in the comments. Just, I try to remember them and to tell you about in the episodes, but also quite often not. It's too time consuming, and I'm not a nice person. But Jessica, my knitting friend, she said, I love answering those questions. I said, really? We should work together, because I love to connect people. So we decided to organize a make-along, an Hinterland jurk make-along. Jurk is the Dutch word for dress. And I must say, we organized it on Instagram. We did a live on Instagram last Wednesday. We will do another one. We will make a group chat on Instagram and a hashtag. We will do it all there. And I saw quite some English comments under our video, and I was really surprised, because I didn't thought about that. We only do it in Dutch, because organizing a make-along is can be quite time consuming, and yeah, that's interesting always. But also organizing it in English, we did speak about it, but also organize it doubles the work. And I just want to knit all those things and want to sew a dress. That's all. So if you are English speaking, you don't understand the Dutch, you're absolutely welcome to join. You can use Google Translate all the time, I guess. You can follow the hashtag on Instagram. When you are not having Instagram and you want to join, you can connect with other people. You can connect in the comments, and maybe you can find another place which you prefer to share your things. It's all okay. It's all about the connection and the making. It's all about the fun. There are no prizes, whatever. I don't like that. I did it before, but it's about the connection together. There are a lot of people with the wish to make a dress, of to learn a new skill, and when you are doing it together, that's the motivation to grow, to learn something new, to complete something, and that's the main reason. People are stronger together, so that's nice. So you are absolutely welcome, but it will be in Dutch, and yeah, you can, yeah, I think that doesn't matter, but it's all about the dress. So yeah, that I think. But we won't do subtitles or translating. You have to do it your own, and I understand that is not ideal when you're not speaking Dutch. Dutch is an awful language to understand, to try to understand when you're not speaking it. But it is what it is. I'm sorry. Maybe I will organize something in English too, another time, another thing later. I don't know. We shall see. But I'm very looking forward to that one. Actually, I'm very looking forward to a positive sewing experience with, at the end, a dress. That would be wonderful. I also have, and then I really want to quit because I'm talking way too long already. I have a little dragon inspiration for you. In my episode last week, I told about the time of the year. It's the dragon time. Beat your dragons, slay your dragons, tame your dragons. I read all the terms, whatever you want. My children are going to a Waldorf school, and there I learned, I don't have a Waldorf background, but I learned about beating your dragons in September around the Michaelmas celebration. It's a perfect time of the year to beat your dragons, and yeah, that I told about it before. But yesterday we were at the school of the girls, and one of the teacher was telling about this subject. And he said something that really inspired me. He said, okay, there you have the dragon, the thing you don't like, or the thing you would be better in, or you would skip, or whatever. But also focus on the sword, which, of course, I don't know the word right now, which aspects, which things you are good in, which things of that can you use to beat your dragon? This is harder in English than I thought. I didn't thought about it before. I'm sorry. You have your dragon, and I am focused on my dragons. Okay, those are things I want to be different, or I want to grow. But of course you know ways you can beat your dragon, but it's really interesting to look at your skills, at your power, which you can use to beat the dragon. So I really love that look. Which sword am I gonna use? Yeah. So for an example, one of my dragons was that I spent too much time on things I actually don't want to spend time on. One very good example is spending time on my phone. I spend quite some time on my phone, and I am consuming there. I am soaking up all the inspiration, all the lovely things, and that there's nothing wrong with that, but when it's too much, it's too much. Then you are filled, and you're gaining weight. So there's too much. I am full and it doesn't is in balance anymore. So I want to skip that. But the only thing I could beat my dragon I thought of was just don't do it anymore. But if it was so simple, I wouldn't do it. So I thought, what is my sword? I like to be creative. So can I change the time I spend on my phone from being a consumer to being a creator? So I did. These days I played with it. Instead of consuming, every time I want to pick up my phone, I was making little snapshots around me from daily life, and then especially a part of my daily life, my crafting, my knitting and crochet, and a little bit of sewing, and my hiking in the woods. That's the only thing I do, so no, that's not true. And I put them together in an app, so it will, and with a little music under it, and the date, and it was a little diary fragment, and I posted them in my Instagram stories, and that was really satisfying. So instead of consuming and watching what other people are making, I was creating something my own on my phone, and so the focus was not on the consuming but on the creating, and it was feeling much better. And I still spent quite some time on my phone, and of course I'm not sure if that is really what I want, but this is a small step I made in the right direction, and it really felt good. So my sword was my creativity, to beat the dragon of the time you spend on things you don't want to spend on. So it was really nice. I have no idea if you understand the essential from my example, from my story, but it really resonated with me. So maybe it's useful for you. Those diary fragments I will add at the end of my video, at the end of my episode. I have no idea what all the downloading and uploading from my phone to my laptop and what that did with the quality of the videos. So we shall see that, but it's not about the quality, it's just about the fun. So I use the app Mojo for it, Mogo, and it's really fun and nice app. You can also make reels on Instagram, but I don't like. I just this was fun. So I really had some fun, and if you like it, you can enjoy it. Maybe you've already seen it when you follow me on Instagram and when you check all the stuff I share. But maybe not. It was also for me a nice end of the day online. Every time at the end of the, not at the end of the day, but how do you say it? At the end of the afternoon, I decided, okay, for today it's enough. I posted my diary fragment, and then I closed all my social media apps. And of course, every now and then I did a little check, but not on my phone, on the laptop. I'm still learning. I have to grow. Small steps. But it was really nice. Okay, Instagram is over for today. Just what is now in my real world. And it was really nice to do it that way, to use it. So I have no idea. Maybe it's only I do it for a while. Maybe I will do it forever. I don't know. But I am having fun, and the reason I share it is I want to inspire you that you can be creative with finding your solutions, with finding the sword you can use. You have different swords to slay your dragon. And not every sword works for you. So it's nice to find the sword that's really matching with your skills. And that's nice. Okay, enough for today. It's Friday afternoon. I am really looking forward to the weekend. It was a busy week. I'm quite tired. So I'm looking forward to cuddle up on the couch with some candles and some chocolate and a cup of tea and just easy peasy knitting time, and hopefully finishing. I don't know if I will finish it. Maybe. Hopefully finishing something, but really enjoying just the nice feeling that knitting and crochet can give you. I wish you a very nice weekend. Maybe I will see you on Monday, and thank you for watching.